Good morning, it is day 17 and it's snowing. Yesterday was a meh day. The first 2k was pretty cool. Then after a junction the track basically disappeared. It was severely overgrown and there were no markers. It was 3 hours of slog. I think I tripped over 3 times. I bent my pole, got poked in the eye, got bruised, cut. Not pleasant. And it was raining. At the bottom I put on a dry shirt and my raincoat, had lunch and then made my way up, steep climbing, up quite high, up to 1200 metres, and it was snowing up on the tops. And it was along the ridgeline, snowed most of the time, couple of short breaks, and then down to this little hut, Longview Hut, where there's a fire going and 3 lovely ladies, so it's good company overnight. Now this morning it was meant to be clear, but it's snowing and the snow has settled on the ground. I've got my gloves, I've got my trousers. So yeah, that's today. It's quite pretty with the snow on the ground. Got a slight break, it stopped snowing. Alright, so heading this way. Now I've got 200 metres to get up to Otemori. So it's 1500 and I think 12 metres or something like that. So up I go. That'll warm me up. Ooh, starting to warm up now. So cool. That's really thick stuff. There's a finger for comparison. Alright, getting near the top now. Not much view going out the back. Alright, along the ridges and then the final little push up. Pretty. That's where I've come, along that ridge. Must be getting close now. Alright, I'm up to the junction. That is Iron Gate that way, Longview and Howlett's Hut. However, I turn off before Howlett's Hut. So I've got about 300 metres to get to the high point. I think I'm at the high point. I'm starting to go down now, so it must be 1519 metres. Oh, the wind's starting to get up. So glad to start going down now. Here's where I turn off. Gonna have a headwind for a little bit, but I'm dropping down, so I should be in the bush in about probably 30 to 40 minutes. Woohoo! Right, off this ridge. So heading down, following these metal poles that don't actually stand out very much in the mist, and the path's not very well worn, so it's just following the ridge, and then I think I climbed that and then dropped down the other side. That's where I've come from, and I've dropped out of the mist line. That's all the new snow, but I've dropped out of the mist and look at that, I have a view. Woohoo! So I'm heading along this ridge line and then dropping down to the river down the bottom. Orange triangle. I'm still in and out of the trees for a little bit before I drop truly into the tree line. Still on the scrubby stuff. Whew. Nice to be out of the wind. Oh, nice. This is nice along here. The alternate to what I did is going along that ridge line and down, as opposed to what I did is up to the tops and down. That's the route. Came down. Woo-hoo-hoo. Alright, just taking off all my wet weather kit. There was sun, but now there's clouds again. Who knows? This is a beautiful trail. It's goes down a steep bit and then it'll ease off for a little bit, and then on a steep bit and ease off a little bit. So means my legs get a little bit of a break in between the steep bits. Yeah, lovely and mossy, and track's been in pretty good condition as well. So yeah, oh wow, definitely dropping down the bottom. And Daphne Hut across the river, so I should be able to see it because it doesn't say which direction across the river. See, bright orange triangle looking that way, so means Daphne Hut's somewhere up there. Oh no, there it is. Hut, funny little A-frame. There's the usual sleeping platform on the ground. There's not a built-up platform. One up there, and another one up there. Had a nice lunch at the hut. From here I've got two route choices. One, I climb up 500 metres and then drop down 500 metres, and the other is I take a river around. So I'm going for the river option. The river option is 4k, the other option is 5. And there's a sign at the hut. To Mill Road was 6 hours going up and over Rossville's track, whereas the river was 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm not going all the way to Mill, but it means the river is significantly quicker. So that's the way I'm going. Into the three ladies, they took the other route, trackless along the tussocks and down through the bush. So yeah, they've just hit the river, which is a coincidence. So they're heading back up to the hut I stopped and had lunch at while I continue on. Whew. See how long I can go up here. There's a few bits where I don't want to cross across there just to cross across again, so I go up in the bush just to get around the deep part. Obviously want to cross as little as possible, but it widens out from here, so there should be more sides to the river. The other thing is a safety point. My PLB, my personal locator beacon, or my inReach, is zipped up in my pocket. It has been since I started going down the river, so just in case something happens, the PLB is always on me if I lose my pack. The challenge of doing a river like this is knowing when to cross, and looking as far ahead as possible. You know, I saw there was some steep slips, so there was no way to go above, and it was running out of water, and pools forming up there. And crossing here I wasn't quite happy with, so I crossed up there where it was much easier. Coming along, and yeah, looks like I've got nice rocks to walk on now. And if I need to, it's not as steep up there, so I can bush bash as well. Negotiating the bigger rocks. Whew. Opened up, but not the shingle that I thought there would be on the sides. Wide a bit, there's a bit of grass here, and that hill is the one that I'm going to be heading for and climbing up next. There's an orange triangle. I don't see the counterpart. Don't see where it's leading to, just to say stay on the track. And there's a sign, Daphne Hut, 2 hours 30. Okay, cool. I'll keep going on my merry way. Don't know why randomly it's there. It's leaving the main stream and heading up that stream a bit and then up. Not a small stream. Stream's too hard with all the boulders, it's just too steep. So I'm gonna bush bash. Really steep bits done. The gradient's eased off, and I'm sort of following, almost looks like deer trail. They sort of peter out and then I find another one and keep going up. So not sure how long I'll keep this nice bush, but I'll keep trying. That's been a mixture of okay and super tight, and I've just come out into a bit more open. On the map it does show a really open bit, and I think if I can get through this little bit that I'm going to be more in the open from now on, which will make it easier. So we'll see. I'll push through here. That may be open, but it's not easy. I sort of had a deer track, but still hard. But just come out onto this grass. It's a boggy bit, so I'll follow that as far up as it goes. Oh, nice views. So the hut is just behind that saddle. I went up to that high point along the ridge and then down that ridge, not the one on Skyline, the one ahead, and you can see the river I've come down as well. Before I came down, the alternate was going up to that high peak up there and then coming down here. So I'm glad I did the river. Alright, up to the ridge. I think I've got another 80 vertical meters to go. Found my way through, now proper grass, and I can see a route up to the ridge. Whew. Yes! Just crossed a fence, I see a big orange triangle in the tree there. There's orange triangle. I came up here. The 1983 map that was in the hut showed a track that came up here. But 2014 and the latest ones don't show anything. Which is why I bush bashed up there. Alright. Not quite sure which trail. I'm assuming it's the one by the fence line. It's the next orange triangle and a stile to get across the fence. That's good. I was worried maybe this is now private land, but if there's a fence, if there's a stile across, it means I was allowed on this side. Alright, 2 kilometres along the ridge line, and I come to a trail junction and turn left, and then it's less than a kilometre to a hut. Oh, lovely. Look at this. Luxury trail. I wasn't sure whether this would be in any good condition or not, just because it didn't officially end anywhere, but it looks alright. Right, a couple of quite steep bits along this hill, and I am shattered, absolutely shattered. I'm having to stop and rest even up these hills here. It is, what's the time? It's 4:30. And I started at 8:30, so it's still not a super long day. Oh, wow. Definitely not going to go too much further. I didn't check my map properly. It wasn't just tooling along the ridge. It was up until now. But now I climb 150 metres to get up to a high point before I then turn and go to the hut. And I had a look. Once I get to this hut, Hinirua, it's another 2k to get to the next hut. But yeah, 8 hours walking. By the time I get up to this hill and then get to the hut, it'll be nearly 9 hours. So I'm going to stop at the next hut. I was expecting to get my resupply today, but nah, tomorrow. I've still got food. So, yeah, I'm not going to go hungry tonight. I've got plenty of food. Oh, wow. It's going to be a slow climb. Having to stop and rest. Just legs have got no energy. Starting to get into a few bogs along here. I've quite enjoyed not having bogs for a while. Big wide paths along here. I wonder if it used to be a vehicle track long, long ago. Oh. Still climbing. High point's done. Didn't even see the junction. I wasn't looking though. And dropping down to a saddle and then climb up another small hill, and that's the hut. So I've got about 500 meters to go from here. Whew. Which is good. Oh. I think it's a hill. I can see not the top one, but there's one in between. I think that's what I've got to go up next. Looks like the junction's on a different place in my map. Right, so what does that say? That says Tikatumi River, 2 hours. And Henidua Hut, 30 minutes. That's where I'm going. And airstrip, 1 hour 45. Alright, it's really starting to get cold now. Temperature's just plummeting. It's 5 to 5. And yeah, ooh, chilly. Do you know how cold it is as I'm puffing? Looks like a fresh track. Similar size to me, but very narrow. Wow, very narrow. Right, I'm on top of the hill, so now it is just downhill to the hut. Ooh. Here's the toilet, so the hut can't be too far. These are the older style toilets, but they're still good. Oh, there's even toilet paper. And there you go, that's what it is. And there's the hut. That toilet's miles away. It's way down and around the corner. Right. Henidua Hut. Ooh. Pretty standard. 4 beds and sink and fire. And that's it.